Hello and welcome everyone to the 12th video lecture of Operations Research model number 3. I am Professor Prashant Birje, and in today's video lecture we are going to see a new method of finding IBFS, that is Initial Basic Feasible Solution. This method's name is Vogel's Approximation Method, also abbreviated as VAM, Vogel's Approximation Method. So we are taking a similar problem what we have taken for northwest corner rule as well as matrix minima method, and we will be solving it using Vogel's approximation method. So in this, as in the previous problems, the first step is we have to first see whether the given problem is balanced or not. How do we check whether the given problem is balanced or not? We have to check the total supply, total demand. If they are equal, then it is balanced. Only if it is balanced, then we have to proceed ahead. If it is not, then we have to first balance it and then we have to proceed. In this case, we'll see what is the total supply. Here the total supply is 70 and the total demand is also 70. I do not have much space. I had forgotten to write it, so I have written it in one line itself. Total supply is equals to 70, total demand is equals to 70. Hence, they are equal, and that is why, therefore, the problem is balanced. Now, we'll start solving it. Copy the problem as it is. Once you copy the problem as it is, in this problem, what we are going to do is we are going to find a set of something known as row penalties and column penalties. So, row penalties will be written here, column penalties will be written here. Again, what happens is we need certain space for this cancellation. So this 10 goes, then something happens, 35 goes this way. So leave some space, then you have to write row penalties. Similarly here also you need 2 or 3 lines here, at least 3 lines minimum. Leave 3 lines and then you can start column penalties. Okay, so this is what we do. Now what are these row penalties and column penalties? Row penalties or column penalties are like, you have to first find how to find this. See what is the, in first row, what is the least element? The least element is 1. What is the second least element? 2. What is the difference between least and the second least element? It is 1. So your row penalty is 1. You should write 1 here. Similarly, what is the difference between least and the second least? 4 and 5. What is the difference? Again 1. So the same thing it is. I have written it down. It comes up to this. So this is how it stacks up now. So what happens is, see here, I've left little space here, then I'm writing row penalties. I've left little 3 lines here, and then I'm writing column penalties. Now this least element in this is 1. The second least is 2. The difference between 1 and 2 is 1. Similarly, what is the least element in the second row? It is 4. The second least element is 5. The difference between first and second least element is 1. That you are writing here. Similarly, here also the least element is 5. The second least element is 6. The difference between least and the second least element is 1. So we have to consider only least and second least. Similarly, for column also, column wise, we have to write least element is 2, second least is 5, difference is 3. Least is 3, second least is 4, difference is 1. Least is 1, second least is 8, difference is 7. So this is how we write row penalties and column penalties. Once we find row penalties and column penalties, what we have to do is we have to find the highest penalty out of this. Which is the highest penalty? Here 1, 1, 1. 3, 1, 7. Out of all these row penalties and column penalties put together, you have to find the highest penalty. Your highest penalty is this. So just make a small mark here. I am putting an arrow mark here. What does this mean is your first allocation should happen in this column only now. Okay. Where will you allocate? Logical is here, because this is the least cost cell out of all these 3. So you have to allocate here. Okay. That means once you have selected the column or the row, in that which is the least cost you have to see, and there you have to allocate. So how much can you allocate here? Supply is 10, demand is 25. Minimum of supply and demand 10. So I'll write 10 there. Okay, what is the supply remaining? 0. What is the supply demand remaining? 15, right? 10 minus 10 0, 25 minus 10 15. So this is gone now. Okay, so once any row or column becomes 0, I'll cancel it out. The next thing, okay, now again we have to find a new set of row penalties and column penalties. Okay, the second set, here the least element is 4, second least is 5, so the difference is 1. Least is 5, second least is 6 in this column, third column, so the difference is 1. Here first column, least is 5, second least is 5, the difference is 0. Here the least is 4, second least is 6, difference is 2. Here again 8 and 8, so the difference is 0. So which is the least number or least penalty? Maximum penalty 1 1 0 2 0. So the maximum penalty where you have to allocate is here, right? That means in this column. In this column, which is the least element remaining now? That is 4. So you have to allocate here. How much will you allocate here? How much will you allocate here? 35 is the supply, 25 is the demand. So I'll allocate 25. So what is the remaining demand? 0. Supply remaining is 10. So once any row or column becomes 0, you have to cancel it. Fine. Now again find out row penalties and column penalties. Row penalties I'll find out. 5, only 2 elements are there. So least is this, second least is this, difference is 3. Here again the difference is 3. Here the difference is 0 and here the difference is 0. No need to find for this because this is already cancelled. Okay, so now what is the highest penalty? Highest penalty, we have a tie here and here. So what we do is, in this if I allocate, which is the least cost, 8 or 5? 5. If in this I allocate, what is the least cost, 8 or 5? 5. So in both the cases we can take any of this value, so either here or here. So where will you allocate? Say I'll allocate here, you can take any other allocation also, where that is fine. So I'm allocating here 10 because minimum of supply and demand was 10. So 0 is remaining, here 10 is remaining. See, I'll just recap this. What had happened is, there was a tie here, 3 and 3. So here in this if I allocate, here I was 8 and 5 I was getting, so the minimum cost was 5. If I allocate here, the minimum cost was 8 and 5, so the minimum cost was 5. So again there was a tie. If here I would have got 4 or say 2, then I would have allocated here because this would have been a better choice. Okay, anyways, this follow this right now. Now again find a set of row penalties and column penalties. 8 and 5, what is the difference? 3. Sorry for the handwriting. Okay, I was writing 2 there instead. That is 3. Here minimum and second minimum, that is least and second least, remains the same only because there's no other option. So highest penalty is this, allocate here first. Okay, see, if there is only one element, just copy it. The second element, that is second least element, consider it as 0. Okay, so 8 and 0, difference is 8. 5 and 0, difference is 5. So now 15 is the demand, remaining 25 is the supply, allocate 15. So this is 0, this is 10. So once anything becomes 0, cancel it out. Last 5. So anything you can take because only one element is there. You have to there only you have to allocate. Supply remaining is 10, demand remaining is 10, allocate 10. So here the remaining is 0, here the remaining is 0. So again we can see that all rows and all columns are cancelled. That means your allocations was right, your the problem was balanced, that is why it has happened. So this is how you have to allocate. Now let us find out how to find the total cost. So now let us see how this works out in the table. I've prepared a table here, source, destination and transportation. The first allocation is AD3. You can see this AD3 or simply 3, that is destination 3. So from A to 3, how many units you are transporting? 10 units. What is the unit cost? 1. So 1 into 10 is the transportation cost. See, unit cost for transporting one item, you are incurring 1 rupee. Total 10 items you are transporting, so 10 rupees you have to pay. That is 1 into 10. So from A to D3, the transportation cost is 1 into 10 is equals to 10. From the next allocation is B D1. So it is 5 into 10. B D1, 5 into 10. Similarly, you have to find out other transportation cost and add up. So once you find out all this transportation cost, add up all this 10, 50, 100, 50, 120. So you'll get 330 right units, because you do not know whether it is in rupees, dollars, pounds or any other currency. So I am writing it as 330 units is the total transportation cost. So the total transportation cost here in this case is 330 after adding up all the individual transportation costs which are there. So that is it. With this we end today's lecture. If you have any difficulties, you can always contact us.